Get up. Right now. No hesitation. No waiting for the perfect moment. This is the moment. This is where the change begins. Not tomorrow, not next week, now. Because the truth is, transformation doesn't happen by chance, it happens by choice. And every day you have a decision to make. Are you going to let life control you, or are you going to step up and take control of your life? You have power inside of you that you haven't even tapped into yet. You've been playing small, letting fear run the show, letting doubt dictate your moves. Ends today. It's time to rise with a different kind of energy, a different kind of hunger. If you want something different, you have to be something different. You've got to act like the person you're trying to become long before you see the results. Discipline over desire, vision over vibes, purpose over pain. There's no shortcut, no secret formula, just grit, faith, and relentless execution. This life isn't going to hand you greatness. You've got to earn it, and not once. Every single day, the price of success is paid daily. Not when you feel like it. Not when everything's going your way. Especially when it's hard. Especially when everything in you wants to quit. That's when champions are made. That's when something deep inside awakens and says, I'm not built to break. You've been through things that should have taken you out. But you've survived storms others didn't make it through. And you're still standing. That's not luck. That's purpose. That's evidence of something greater inside of you. So stop living like you're average. You weren't born to blend in. You were born to stand out, to lead, to shine, to dominate in your lane. But you've got to move with intention. Every rep, every choice, every second, it all counts. And stop wasting time waiting for motivation to find you. Motivation is created. It's built in the grind. It's built when you show up on the days you don't want to. When you're tired but you keep pushing. When it hurts, but you keep lifting. When you feel alone but you keep going. That's where transformation is born. Right there in the resistance. You've got a fire in you. Maybe life tried to dim it. Maybe the world told you to tone it down, to settle, to play it safe. But that fire, it's still there. It's waiting on you to stoke it, to fan the flame, to let it burn so bright it lights up everything around you. That's your power. That's your truth. Don't run from it, run with it. And remember, this is bigger than you. You're not just showing up for yourself. You're showing up for your future, for your family, for everyone watching who needs proof that it's possible. Every step you take forward, you break a generational curse. Every barrier you break through gives someone else permission to believe they can too. That's impact, that's legacy. But you can't have legacy without consistency. You can't have greatness without grind. You have to fall in love with the process, not just the result. The reps, the routines, the early mornings, the long nights, that's where you sharpen your edge. That's where you develop the mindset of a winner. Because this isn't just about muscles or fitness, it's about becoming unshakable. Mentally, spiritually, emotionally. There will be days you don't feel strong, days you question yourself, days it feels like the world is against you. But hear this, that's not your cue to quit, that's your cue to level up. Pressure creates diamonds, struggle creates strength, and resistance reveals who you really are. You have to stop negotiating with your weakness, stop making deals with procrastination, stop entertaining thoughts of quitting. That old mindset, the one that tells you to slow down, to take it easy, to stay comfortable, it's not your friend. It's the enemy of your purpose. And every time you listen to it, you take one step further away from the person you were created to become. Comfort is not where champions are made. Champions are made in pressure, in conflict, in resistance. If you're feeling that tension right now, good. That means you're on the edge of a breakthrough. That means you're standing in front of the door that separates the old you from the new you. But that door doesn't open by luck. It opens by force. You kick it down with discipline. You knock it off the hinges with work ethic. You break through. Every time you show up and give your all, you're sending a message to your future. I'm coming. You're declaring war on every excuse, every distraction, every limitation that ever tried to stop you. This isn't about being perfect. This is about being relentless. It's about showing up even when the fire inside feels like a flicker. Because you know that flicker can turn into a blaze if you just keep going. The world is full of people with potential, but potential means nothing if it's not activated, if it's not converted into something real. You got the raw material, but now it's time to forge it into something unshakable. Every drop of sweat, Every rep, every setback you push through. That's how you build the life you say you want. Because the world doesn't respond to your dreams, it responds to your grind. It responds to your grind. Start showing up like your life depends on it. Because it does. Not just your survival, but your calling. That thing inside you that won't shut up, no matter how much you try to distract yourself. Ignore it or numb it with comfort. That calling is real. And it won't leave you alone until you face it, until you surrender to it, until you give it everything you've got. You were not designed for mediocrity. You were not created to coast through life just getting by. There is greatness in your DNA. There is fire in your spirit. But fire without focus burns everything around it. You have to channel that fire, aim it, discipline it. That's where the transformation happens, when fire becomes purpose. If you keep waiting until you feel ready, you'll waste your whole life. Readiness is a lie. You'll never be fully prepared. You'll never have all the answers. But what you do have right now is breath in your lungs, strength in your bones, and a dream that refuses to die. That's enough to get started. That's enough to push forward. That's enough to change everything. You're not competing with anybody else. This is about beating the old you, the lazy you, the scared you, the distracted you. That's the enemy. You look in the mirror every morning and say, I'm not backing down. I'm not going back. I'm not going back. I'm not living another day in survival mode. I'm here to thrive. You don't have time to waste. Every second counts. Every decision shapes the future you're building. So stop letting emotions dictate your actions. Feelings are fleeting, but discipline is forever. Let that drive your choices. Let that shape your habits, because your habits will either build you or break you. If you want peace, if you want power, if you want purpose, then you've got to go through the process. There's no avoiding it. There's no skipping steps. You have to embrace the grind, embrace the discomfort, and let it transform you, because transformation is violent. It tears down the old to make space for the new. It hurts. It's uncomfortable, but it's worth every ounce of pain. There are no off days in this lifestyle. Even when you rest with intention. You recover with purpose. You don't slip. You don't fall back into the old patterns. You protect your progress. You guard your mindset like it's treasure, because it is. Your mindset is the gatekeeper to everything you want. You have to speak life into yourself daily. You have to declare it before you see it. Say it even when it sounds crazy. Speak like a winner, move like a warrior, and act like everything you do matters, because it does. The universe responds to boldness. Life responds to movement. So move. Move even when it's hard. Move even when you're tired. Move with faith. The truth is, you already know what to do. You've always known. You've just been waiting for something or someone to confirm it. This is that confirmation. You're not waiting on a sign. You are the sign. You are the sign. You're not waiting on opportunity. You're creating it with every rep, every step, every decision to keep going. The greatest version of you is on the other side of consistency. And if you keep showing up with fire, with passion, with unwavering commitment, nothing can stop you. Not your past, not your pain, not your current reality. Because you are not defined by what's around you. You're defined by what's within you. And what's within you? Power, grit, spirit, faith. That divine spark that refuses to die, no matter how many times life tried to extinguish it, it's still there. Still burning. Still calling you forward. So lean into that fire. Trust it. Let it guide you. Make a decision right now that you're done playing small, done settling, done letting life happen to you. You are the creator of your life, not a spectator, not a victim, the creator. And every thought you think, every word you speak, every move you make, it's either building your empire or tearing it down. So ask yourself, what are you building today? What kind of future are you creating with your choices? Because no one's coming to save you. No one's going to do it for you. This is your story, your legacy, your life. And you only get one shot at it. One, refuse to leave potential on the table. Refuse to look back years from now full of regret. You were born with greatness in you, but greatness is activated by action. So act right now with fire, with focus, with everything you've got. No more doubt, no more delay. Just discipline, just purpose, just movement. And from this moment on, you move different. You speak different. You think different. You train different. You train different. You're built for more. You've already come too far to turn back. You've already survived too much to give in now. So keep going. Keep grinding. Keep proving to yourself that you were never average. You were just waiting for the moment you finally gave yourself permission to become who you were always meant to be. This is that moment. The moment where you stop apologizing for wanting more. The moment where you stop playing it safe and start living like your life has meaning. Because it does. Everything you need to change your life is already inside you. You don't need more time. You don't need more followers. You don't need approval. What you need is focus. What you need is to look in the mirror and say, excuses. I'm done with the excuses. I'm done letting life happen to me. From now on, I happen to life. Every day, you're writing your story, not with your intentions, but with your actions. What are you doing when no one's watching? When no one's cheering? When it's just you, your grind, and your goals? What kind of effort are you giving then? Because that's the real you, not the highlight reel, not the motivational post, the you in the dark, the one who shows up before the sun rises, before the rest of the world even knows you're awake. That's the version of you that determines your future. And if you're tired right now, good. Tired means you're doing the work. Tired means you're in the process, but tired doesn't mean done. Pain doesn't mean stop. It means keep pushing. Push with purpose, push with vision. Push because there is someone out there who needs your story. Someone who's gonna look at what you built and realize they can build too. You've got to train yourself to think different, to move different, to move different. To speak to yourself like a king, like a queen, like someone who refuses to live below their calling. That negative voice in your head, shut it down, starve it, replace it with truth, with faith, with fire. Because as long as you believe the lie that you're not enough, you'll never give everything you've got. But the truth is you are enough right now. Even if you're not where you want to be yet, you've got what it takes to get there. You've got to stop letting your past dictate your pace. You are not your mistakes. You are not your failures. You are not the opinions of people who gave up on their own dreams. You are power in motion. You are momentum waiting to happen. You are one focused season away from an entirely different life. Don't ask, what if I fail? Ask, what if I don't try? What if I don't try? What if you go all in for once and actually give yourself a real shot? What if you wake up 6 months from now and don't recognize your life? Not because you stayed the same, but because you finally refused to. The life you want is on the other side of what you're avoiding. That early wake up, that workout, that difficult conversation, that uncomfortable change, that consistent discipline, that's the gate, and no one's going to walk through it for you. This is your fight. This is your responsibility. This is your moment. And yes, it's going to be hard. Yes, you're going to doubt yourself some days, but those moments aren't the enemy. They're the test. They're asking you, how bad do you really want it? And your response has to be action. Not just emotion, not just talk, but real measurable action. That's the only thing that moves the needle. The world is full of talkers, full of dreamers, but dreams without action are just fantasy. And you weren't born to fantasize. You were born to build, to create, to lead, to rise. So wake up every day with your mind locked in and your spirit fired up. Wake up with your goals already decided. Don't let your feelings pick your action. Let your standards lead the way. Raise your standards. Stop accepting less from yourself. Stop calling it just a bad habit when it's robbing you of your purpose. Stop calling it just a phase when it's been holding you back for years. Own your flaws, but don't live in them. Heal them. Grow from them. Use them as fuel. You've got to become the kind of person who refuses to go to bed with regret, who refuses to lie awake at night thinking about what they should have done. You have to live loud, live bold. Lives so focused on the mission that nothing can pull you off course. Not distraction, not doubt, not delay. Do the hard things, because doing the hard things turns you into someone who can handle more. Someone who can't be broken by pressure. Someone who doesn't need easy. You don't want easy. You want growth. You want to look back and say, I became someone I'm proud of. There are people right now watching you, wondering if you'll quit like everyone else did. Wondering if you'll fold. Don't give them that satisfaction. Be the one who didn't break. Be the one who kept going. Be the one who rewrote the story, not just for yourself, but for everyone coming after you. Because when you rise, you raise others with you. When you choose discipline over distraction, strength over comfort, purpose over pleasure, you create a ripple. You become a walking example of what's possible. And the world needs more of that. More people who live out what they believe. More people who walk in purpose even when no one's watching. You've got to be obsessed with better. Not perfect, better. A little stronger, a little sharper, a little more consistent. Stack those wins. Stack them until momentum takes over. Until your future starts chasing you. Until the habits that once felt hard become the new standard. That version of you you've been dreaming about, they're already inside you, waiting, watching, hoping you'll finally make the decisions that bring them to life. Every time you choose growth, you step closer to them. Every time you choose excuses, you bury them deeper. You don't need another plan, you need execution. You need to get so committed that quitting is no longer an option. That comfort tastes like poison. Every day to burn the boats, remove the plan B. Let failure be a teacher, not a dead end. And when life hits you, and it will, you stand up and say, that's all you've got? Because you built something inside you that can't be shaken. Because you've turned your pain into passion, your struggle into strategy, your story into fuel. So now every time you step into that gym, into that workspace, into that moment, you bring everything. You don't hold back. You don't coast. You don't wait for motivation to show up. You are the motivation. You bring the intensity. You create the standard. You lead by example. You've been called. You've been chosen. And now, it's time to become. Every single rep you grind out. Every early morning you rise when your body begs for rest. Every time you silence that voice of doubt, you're casting votes for the future you. Every moment you push beyond your limits, you're rewriting your identity. You're no longer who you were yesterday. You're not even the person you were an hour ago. You are evolving in real time. The old you was built on excuses. The new you is built on execution. The world wants to distract you. The world wants to pull your attention in every direction except forward. But the world doesn't determine your destiny, you do. So lock in. Cut the noise. Eliminate what doesn't build you. You don't owe anyone an explanation for protecting your energy. This season isn't about people pleasing, it's about purpose living. And listen, there will be losses. There will be days when you fall short, but those losses don't define you unless you let them. You don't rise by avoiding failure. You rise by facing it, learning from it, and stepping forward anyway. Losing isn't the end. Quitting is. As long as you refuse to quit, you are winning. This life doesn't reward intentions. It rewards commitment. Every time you show up when it's inconvenient, when you're tired, when you're mentally drained, that's when the real growth happens. That's when you tap into strength you didn't know existed. That's when you realize this isn't just about working out. This is about warfare. Spiritual, mental, emotional. Every time you refuse to fold, you're building resilience. Grit, armor. And the truth is, the people who win in life aren't the most talented. They're the most committed. They're the ones who decided they were done playing games with their potential. Done watching others live the life they wanted. They got serious, they got hungry, and they stayed hungry. That's who you need to become. You can't keep saying you want change while living like your old self. Transformation starts with alignment. Your actions have to match your ambition. If you say you want more, then do more. If you say you're all in, then act like it when it's hard. Talk is cheap. Energy is everything. The way you move should speak so loud that no one needs to hear your goals. They see them. And some days, you're gonna feel invisible, like the work you're doing isn't making a difference, like you're grinding for nothing. But that's a lie. Progress is slow. It's silent. It's invisible until it explodes. But every drop of sweat, every disciplined decision, every moment of focus, it's all stacking, compounding, laying the bricks for a life you've only dreamed of. You just have to stay in the game long enough to collect the reward. And you're not doing this just to prove others wrong. You're doing this to prove yourself right. To honor the potential that's been burning in your soul since day one. To look in the mirror and finally be proud of who you see, not because of how you look, but because of what you overcame. You've got to ask yourself daily, am I living in alignment with the future I say I want? Or am I living by convenience, by comfort, by fear? Because the life you dream of doesn't respond to hesitation, it responds to courage. Courage to keep going. Courage to go all in. Courage to believe when there's no proof yet. That's the mindset of a winner. They're not looking for motivation. They're looking for momentum. They're not chasing hype. They're building habits. They don't need to feel good to do the work. They do the work because they know it's what builds greatness. You have to treat your purpose like it's sacred, like it's life or death, because in a way it is. When you abandon your calling, a part of you dies. But when you show up with intention, when you grind with passion, when you live with focus, you come alive, fully, fiercely, unapologetically. You've got to protect your peace like it's gold. That means not everyone can go with you. That means not everyone will understand. And that's okay. Growth is lonely. Elevation requires separation. If you're always surrounded by people who make you feel comfortable, you'll never step into your power. You need voices that stretch you, challenges that grow you, environments that elevate you. This is your becoming season. Not everyone will clap. Not everyone will see it. But you know what you're building. You know the hours, the discipline, the sacrifice. So keep showing up quietly, consistently, ruthlessly. And yes, you're going to be tested. You're going to be tempted to fall back into the old patterns. But every test is proof that you're on the right path. Resistance is a sign that you're moving against the current, breaking the cycle. Keep pushing, keep breaking, keep rising. You don't need a perfect plan. You need perfect execution of the basics. Show up, stay consistent, keep your vision clear, hydrate, train, breathe. Success isn't complicated. It's just hard. But hard isn't your enemy. Hard is where you rise. The struggle builds substance. And you're not here to be hollow. You're here to be whole, grounded, solid, built from discipline, hardened by effort, elevated by intention. Let that be your foundation. And remember, your mind will try to talk you out of what your spirit knows is right. It will whisper lies. You're too tired. You've done enough. It's not worth it. That's not true. That's resistance. Call it out, then rise above it. You're not your thoughts. You are your decisions, your focus, your fire. Every time you want to quit, remember why you started. Picture the version of you who refused to settle, who saw the gap between potential and reality and said, I will close it with discipline. That's who you are. You're not soft. You're not average. You're not afraid. You are relentless. And now is the time to live like it. Stop putting deadlines on your growth. This is a lifestyle, not a 30-day challenge, not a New Year's resolution. This is who you are now, the kind of person who keeps showing up, who keeps building, who keeps becoming, the kind of person who knows that one more rep, one more mile, one more hour of focus matters. This world is starving for examples of excellence. Be one. Be a leader, not just by title, but by action. Be the kind of person who walks into a room and raises the temperature, who lifts the standard without saying a word, who inspires change just by showing what consistency looks like. You are not chasing greatness. You are creating it. Every choice, every breath. So tighten your laces, lock in, block out the noise. The old you had its time, but that chapter is closed. Now it's time for you to become who you were always meant to be. You've come too far to play small now. This is your moment. The fire is already inside you. You just have to fan it. You just have to commit to showing up when the motivation fades. That's the difference between the people who change their lives and the ones who just wish for it. For it. Consistency without applause. Focus without distractions. Commitment without compromise. The old life you're walking away from, that life was comfortable, predictable, and safe. But it was killing you inside. It was keeping your power locked away. That version of you settled. That version of you made excuses. That version of you feared what people would say if you started changing. But that version of you is gone. The version of you that's showing up now. They don't ask permission, they take responsibility. They don't wait for conditions to be perfect. They create their own momentum. And every single day they step into the gym, into their grind, into their growth. They move with purpose. Because purpose doesn't wait for permission. You've got to understand something. Most people won't understand what you're doing. They'll question you, doubt you, try to pull you back into the old patterns, the old identity. Why? Because your growth threatens their comfort. Because when you level up, it exposes their excuses. Don't take it personally. Let them watch. Let them talk. But don't let them stop you. You weren't born to blend in. You were born to stand out, to lead, to rise, to show others what's possible when someone stops making excuses and starts making moves. You know what mediocrity feels like. You've lived there. You've tasted it. But now you've got a glimpse of who you could become if you fully committed. And once you've tasted that, average, you're not chasing perfection. You're chasing progress. You're not waiting for motivation. You're becoming it. And if nobody claps for you, you clap for yourself. If nobody believes in you, you believe so hard it becomes contagious. If nobody shows up for you, you show up anyway. Because greatness isn't about being seen, it's about becoming undeniable. So forget validation, forget recognition, forget waiting for someone to tell you it's your time. It's your time when you decide it is. It's your time when you step into the pain and say, this won't break me, it will build me. There are people out there right now with half your drive, half your talent, and half your heart, living the life you want. Why? Because they're committed, because they sacrificed, because they got tired of talking and started doing. You got to get uncomfortable with staying the same. Get restless with your routine. You weren't built for autopilot, you were built to elevate, to rise, to destroy every lie you ever believed about your limitations. Your energy is your responsibility. Your attitude is your responsibility. Your results are your responsibility. This isn't about blame. This is about ownership. Because when you own your life, you gain the power to change it. You've got to look at your reflection and say, I take full responsibility for everything I am and everything I'm about to become. That's where your power lives. And here's the thing. The day you commit 100%, the universe starts moving. Doors open. Resources appear. Clarity sharpens. Not because things get easier, but because you get stronger. So stay locked in. Stay focused. Be the kind of person who follows through whether they feel like it or not. Be the kind of person who sets the tone, who raises the bar, who won't quit. Because this journey, it's not about the crowd. It's not about applause. It's not about hype. It's about impact, legacy, vision. Becoming the version of you who could carry the weight of your dreams with grace, with power, with authority. The real ones, they don't just train their body, they train their character. They show up early, they stay late. They do the work nobody wants to do, because they know that's what separates good from great. You've got to raise your standard and stop lowering your vision to match your comfort zone. You've got to stop shrinking to fit the room. Build a life so big it requires your full power. One that demands you rise, that forces you to evolve. You think greatness feels good every day? No, greatness is a grind, sacrifice. It's pressure, but it's also peace. Because when you know you're giving everything you've got, you sleep like a warrior. You don't toss and turn wondering, or what if? You know you're on the path. You know you're aligned. You know that even if you're not there yet, you're closer today than you were yesterday. And that matters. You've made it this far, and that already means something. It means you didn't quit when others did. It means you've already outlasted versions of yourself that would have tapped out. We're not here to celebrate halfway. We're here to finish what we started. We're here to go all the way. Because the moment you settle, the moment you say, this is enough, you start dying. Maybe not physically, but spiritually, emotionally, mentally. And what's worse than a body that's tired is a soul that's given up. You can't afford to get comfortable here. Wherever you are right now, it's only the foundation. It's not the finish line. There's more in you, more strength, more will, more power. And the only way to access it is to keep pushing when everything in you says stop. You don't get stronger when it's easy. You don't grow when you're winning. You grow when you're in the middle of the storm and still moving forward. You grow when your back is against the wall and you still swing. You grow when life hits and you hit back harder. You're here to demand more from yourself, from your body, from your life. You've got to raise your standard to the level of your dream. Because if your dream is to be elite, but your habits are average, you will never close the gap. Your habits are either pulling you forward or holding you back. There is no in between.